What's going on, guys? We have a trade recap from today. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to grab this as a live recording. Also, I'm a little sick, so excuse my voice. But right now, we're looking at crude oil, which was the only trade that I took today. Was in the crude oil futures contract. Today is the 24th of August. So right now, we're looking at the hourly time frame, and you can see what I was looking at today was after hours. We had a huge pop last night, and I ended up fading that whole entire pop. And I was looking for a level to buy in. One of my favorite crude oil trades is buying on the panic on a support level or some kind of level of importance. This doesn't happen all the time, but as you see, I had a trade earlier this week that took place on that. And when these do set up, they can set up for one of the better risk to reward trades that I've seen out there. The success rate from just my note taking is about 60 to 70%, but the risk to reward is pretty amazing on these trades. So these are ones that I seek out, and I've really had to discipline myself in the recent times from taking really any other trades in crude oil besides just my bread and butter setups, because there's so many potential plays, but if you are straying outside your comfort zone, you tend to get hurt. So anyways, guys, simple play. We're looking at a triple bottom here, 1, 2, third test this morning, and we also are working with a whole and half dollar mark. So anytime we're close to a whole or half dollar mark, there's a psychological importance attached to that. So with 47 nearing at that support level and a gigantic flush, and on top of it, just to sweeten the deal, we'll look at the futures real quick. The NASDAQ, similar story. Big pull this morning, and around 8:30 started to pop. So you can see at 9:30, there's an hour difference, and this hadn't gotten a pop yet. Yet the indexes were pulling up a little bit. So not that they're hyper correlated, but it's something to take into account. When you see a large discrepancy, usually it's going to want to correct itself given enough time. So we'll zoom down even more to what I was looking at, which I was looking at the 15-minute, and this was my entry right here. So got a couple nasty red bars here, and we had this one. I see these all the time, and I have a lot of different names for them, but pretty much I call them the last attempt red bar. And this can happen on the green side too when you're going long, but the last attempt red bar is when you have like that panic move. So it's like that big flush, and usually you'll get a quick correction off of that. So just what that looks like on closer time frame. On a 1 minute chart, you have that big 1 minute candle flush, and the preceding 1 minute candle likes to rip up and almost cover the entirety of the previous candle. So that to me is when pretty much all the sellers have washed out and it's time to take this thing higher, or at least swing for taking it higher. So I grabbed it on that second 15-minute candle, which was one of the first green candles that we had seen in 1, 2, 3, call it about 4 or 5, depending if you want to call that a green candle. I'd call that a pretty bearish candle, but it's about 5 or 6 candles until we saw our first green candle. Really strong looking candle nonetheless. So I entered here at 47.15 was my entry, and I was risking 47.05. So I'm risking 10 cents on this trade, $100 per contract, and let this thing play out. I had an order out to sell at 47.45, and it took me out. So my profit was $300. My risk was $100, 1 to 3 risk to reward ratio. That's pretty much the lowest that I will look for, depending on the probability of the setup. But because most of my trades fall in the realm of 50 to 70% probability, I'm looking for at least a 1 to 3 typically to give myself a nice cushion. Obviously in hindsight, this thing ended up running up quite a bit higher, but I was targeting anything around this next resistance point, which is the 47.50s. And unfortunately, I was away from the screens when I got triggered out of that trade. But really, really good trade. Just a reminder to only trade what you know and trade it well. Making it an exclusive setup for yourself. Don't play around with any of the other market noise because there is so much of it out there. You really want to make yourself exclusive to just a few setups and really become a master of those setups. And when they arise, you just hammer them hard. make sure that you are sticking to your plan, you have a solid stop loss, and you have a target in place, and it's really just rinse and repeat from there. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any comments or questions, please drop them down below. I would love to connect with you guys and share any trading thoughts. Be sure to subscribe as well, and safe trading. All right, peace.